So when you hear the word marketing, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Annoying ads, maybe? Pushy salespeople? Well, what if I told you that's not really marketing at all? What if misunderstanding what marketing truly is could be one of the most expensive mistakes a company can possibly make? Let's unpack what marketing is today and why getting it right is so critical. Think about it. MySpace, Yahoo, Blockbuster, these were the giants, the absolute titans of their industries. And they didn't just stumble. Nope, they were completely overtaken. And the reason is kind of simple when you look back. While they were so focused on their existing products, these little upstarts like Facebook, Google, and Netflix were focused on modern marketing. For those old giants, this wasn't just some business school theory. It was a matter of survival. Okay, so to avoid their fate, we have got to get the definition right. So let's strip away all the myths and really figure out what marketing actually is.
Now, I know that's a formal definition, but a few words in there just jump right out. Creating, communicating, and delivering value. See, this isn't about tricking people into buying something they don't need. It's about generating genuine value and then building a real, lasting relationship. That simple shift in perspective, it changes absolutely everything.
So how do you create that value? Well, it starts by not trying to be everything to everyone. Smart marketing always begins with a choice. Who exactly are we serving? By choosing a very specific target market, you can focus all your energy, all your resources on understanding and serving that one group better than anyone else. And then you go a layer deeper. You find distinct groups within that market. You look at the usual stuff like age, the demographics, but you also look at their values, their lifestyles, and their actual behaviors. You know, not all coffee drinkers are the same, right? Segmentation is how you spot those really crucial differences. Next up, you plant your flag. That's positioning. It's about owning one clear, powerful idea inside your customer's mind. It's the one thing they think of when they hear your name. I mean, when you think Volvo, you think safety, right? That is not an accident. That is decades of brilliant, consistent positioning. And here's a really fundamental distinction to get. We all have basic needs, right? Like we need food, but a want is that need shaped by our culture and our personality. So a person in Chicago and a person in Afghanistan both need food, but one might want a deep dish pizza while the other wants rice and lamb. See, marketing doesn't create the need for food. It understands that need and then helps shake the want. Understanding those core concepts is the foundation. But the world they operate in has been completely turned upside down. The old playbook, the old rules, they just don't work anymore. And this section is all about why.
3 massive forces changed the entire game. First, technology. It put a supercomputer in every single pocket. Second, globalization. It turned every little local business into a potential global competitor. And finally, social responsibility. Now, companies aren't just judged on their profits, but on their actual impact on the world.
And the result of all that is this new balance of power. As customers, we've got the entire internet for research and social media to shout our opinions from the rooftops. But on the other side, companies have incredible new tools to understand us and reach us directly on our phones. It's a completely new game with brand new rules for everyone.
So, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When the entire landscape shifts under your feet, when both the customer and the company have these new superpowers, how do you win? How do you even survive?
Well, the answer lies in a totally new playbook, one that's built for this modern world. So let's dive into the philosophy that guides all the successful companies today.
Here it is. This is the single biggest, most important shift you need to understand. The old way, the selling concept, was all about making a product and then trying to find customers for it. The new marketing concept completely flips that. It's about finding the right products for your customers. The whole focus shifts from pushing to listening. Now, this shift didn't happen overnight. Business philosophy evolved over time, from just making things as efficiently as possible to making better products to just trying to sell harder than the next guy. Each step got us a little bit closer to focusing on the customer, which brings us to today's dominant philosophy, the holistic concept, where absolutely everything matters. This holistic idea means you can't just have one great ad campaign and call it a day. You need strong relationships with your customers and your partners. You need all your marketing efforts to work together in an integrated way. It even means your own employees have to believe in the brand. That's internal marketing. And finally, you have to measure performance, not just profit, but brand health and social impact too. It all has to work as one cohesive whole. So if that's the philosophy, How do you actually put it into practice? This final section is all about the tools and the tasks that bring that big holistic idea to life.
A lot of us learned about these in school, right? The classic 4 Ps of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion. And for decades, this was the standard toolkit for any marketer. It was a good start for sure, but it's just not complete enough for today's world.
So today's framework evolves into people, processes, programs, and performance. People recognizes that your employees and partners are a huge part of your brand experience. Processes adds the creative and structural frameworks. Programs covers all your customer-facing activities, and performance measures what truly matters, from financial returns to social impact. When you put it all together, the modern marketer's job is this continuous cycle. It starts with strategy, which means you have to go out and capture real insights. You use those insights to connect with customers and build a powerful brand, all while constantly creating and delivering value to drive growth. It's so much more strategic than just making ads, isn't it?
And we come back to this quote because, honestly, it is the single most important idea in all of modern marketing. This one sentence is what separates the companies that thrive from the ones that, well, end up like MySpace and Blockbuster. It's a simple idea, but it changes everything about how you run a business. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Marketing is not a department tucked away in a corner of the office. It's a company-wide philosophy. It has to run through the entire organization, from the engineers designing the product to the customer service reps answering the phones. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has an impact on the customer's perception of value.
Which, leaves us with one final kind of provocative thought. If marketing really is about creating and delivering value to the customer, and every single part of the company contributes to that, then who in a company actually gets to say they aren't a marketer? It's something to think about.